last year. When we brought this program to you, we explained to you how this commitment was going to work. It was not a let's buy the equipment and have equipment. It was let's pave roads. We told you it would be a long-term commitment. We presented you a budget this year, and in that budget we presented you $50,000 as capital outlay towards the road program. We explained to you during that budget process what the road program was going to produce this year, and each and every one of you voted yes on that budget. No one shot down the capital program. You agreed that this was the right way to go. And then you come here tonight and you shut down the road program. You literally shut it down. We're on our last road, and we will have $1 million worth of lawn ornaments sitting out front, so the residents of, I believe it was about 11 roads left this year, can say, why isn't that on my road, paving my road? You want to put this off until you get more clarity? Well, you should have asked the questions before this evening, because now you just shut it down, and the time that it will take to get it back up and get this through will not be enough to get nearly what we projected. So I want to thank you and for the residents for not producing what you said you would do, and not keeping true to your intentions when you voted yes on the budget and the projects that we explained to you.
General public comment, anything for the mayor, council, or administration? I do have one issue I'd like you to take to the police chief, and I'm sorry he didn't stay, so I could have asked it in public. The heroin problem that's in our township. I would like to know, and I know they're short of manpower, but what is being done? I know we've had several lives saved because of the drug that's administered at times, but we've had quite a few deaths from heroin in our township, and I would just like to find out if there's anything, whether we should start doing some public service announcements and make the public more aware of what's going on with that type of thing. And in response to the mayor, I do want to say I do support our road project. If this had been a bond for $500 and some thousand for asphalt, I would have certainly voted yes, but then you need 4 yeses in order to have a bond ordinance pass. Lecturing the council when the mayor has continuously ignored requests from council to work together and provide us with information. And when we look at the other ordinances that were passed, and that's one thing that I plan on doing very early in July, I want to see the ordinances from the last 10 years. And I want to see if the things that were in those ordinances were actually purchased. Because as was mentioned earlier tonight, we approve money in the budget, we approve ordinances, and are we really sure that that's where the money went and what happens with the money? It's a little different, this ordinance this year, than the ordinance when we had to put forth money for like the police, the courtroom and that type of thing, and when we were bonding for actually going out to purchase roads. But I just want to say, yes, council has a responsibility, but so does the mayor, and I feel the mayor has let council down by not keeping us informed as to what goes on with different things in the township when monies are moved and other things are purchased. So that's all I have to say about that.
I would like to comment on your comment, Ms. Skoll.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I do, because you made a comment and you overemphasized that we continuously and have always, or however you put it, and you can play it back, failed to give you information, that we withheld
Oh, we got
information.
2 emails last
And let me
week.
tell you,
I mentioned that.
This occurred in the
First time
past
we've had 'em.
inadvertently. It occurred in the past inadvertently. I did not mean it, but I will tell you, it's not inadvertently tonight. It is my true feelings. You're a liar. You are a liar. You sat here
out
and
of
lied to the
line.
public. I'm not out of line.
You're
You
out of
sat here
line,
and lied
Mr.
to the
Mayor.
public.
Point of
And I
order,
will-
please.
And I will not have you
Andy?
sit here and lie to the public without commenting
Either
on it.
Mr.
stop
Bear.
him or I will have him removed.
Oh, will
can
you?
leave the office.
Good
You
luck.
can leave.
Mr. Bear,
Good try.
I asked you for point of order. Would
Mayor or
you...
Bayer?
I don't know. He's
Whatever.
having a hissy fit over there.
Dave,
What did I lie about, Dave?
Dave, one of the...
By sitting here saying that administration, the mayor is not giving you information, we are about to be
Andy,
transparent.
I did call for point of order. You are a
Administration you
board
ever had.
attorney. Would you
Yes.
please speak up so that this don't continue to go on in front of the public like this?
Thank you, Diane.
Where was your
and
point of order when she sat there and called me a liar?
Andy,
Or what-
would you
excuse me,
answer?
what- not her, not me a liar, when she said I didn't give her information. Yes, you got me pissed off right now, Sherry Skull, because you're lying.
God.
You're lying to the public.
Mayor,
Can we please-
Mayor, fire that guy for now.
Please,
You were out
this
of
is
line.
not very good for the public. This is
Yeah.
inappropriate. I am not the council president,
Oh.
but we need to take a breath. All
Thank
of us. This is not appropriate.
Okay, general public comments. Mr. Prickett.
Wow.
Rick Prickett again.
And anybody that wants to take their comments out to the hallway, please do that. Mr. Prickett has the floor.
Thank you, Ms. Skull. I attended the budget hearing, all the hearings, and I know the public asked about taking the $50,000 out. It wasn't explained as to any degree, what the $1 million was going to be used for. So there was a discussion about that. Council was kind of in a wondering what to do about it, and I believe administration suggested, well, leave it in the budget, and then you can discuss it during the bond hearing. You can make that determination when the bond hearing is before you. Anybody remember that? It should be in the minutes. Well, tonight, here's the bond hearing for that money, the $50,000 that council left in the budget, and I hear administration say, well, you know, you don't have to buy all those things. They'll come up as a resolution or whatever they might come up as. I think it's a resolution or an ordinance. You don't have to pick them out. You don't have to pass this. You don't have to buy those pieces of equipment. But my thinking is, didn't you borrow the $950,000 ahead of time? And then what are you going to do with that money if you don't buy the equipment that's proposed? So you're still obligated to the creditors to pay all that interest. And to me, that's the point. Ms. Skull, you mentioned borrowing $1 million every year for the road program. I know you don't do that every year, but last year, or this year, I believe we paid $1 million back through our debt payments. Well, we almost borrowed another $1 million, kind of would cancel that out. So my point I'm trying to make, you're concerned about this ordinance and the equipment and the roads. They're all important. There's a lot of important things in this town. You've acquired the PL building, Presidential Lakes Community Center and Firehouse. It's going to cost money to put that roof on. And I think the town's going to be obligated to do that. Where's that money going to come from? You've got the Browns Mills redevelopment project. How much are you going to put into the Browns? If you put $425,000 with the UEZ money to buy those 3 properties, well, where's the rest going to come from? I know there's a little left in the UEZ fund, but you're not going to be able to buy what's there, the rest of what's there, in order to begin the redevelopment project that everybody wants you to do. So what I've said all along is, you have to look at the whole picture. You have to first get your debt down. You're paying, this year, you're paying more than half as much as you pay the police department, that police protection in our town, and you're paying more to Public Works with your debt payments, so you're paying more for work that has been done than work that's being done. So I would just ask you to consider, how do you get that debt down some? You need to do the roads. You need to work on the redevelopment plan. You need to work on the PL building. I mean, there's all these things you got to do, but there's two things that might hold you back. There's 3% debt ceiling. We've talked about it. You can borrow up to $54 million, I think it is. Man, if you did that, I can't imagine what the debt payments will be twice of what they are now. Right now, you're at 52% from my calculations to reaching the debt ceiling. In looking at the bond ratings with Moody's, and please check this out, I'm just providing you with what I have found. I'm not really giving you my opinion. I mean, some of my opinion is in this, but I'm just giving you some information. Please look at it, evaluate it for yourself. I'm not telling you how to vote. I'm saying, here's some information, evaluate it. You know, that's really what the public is supposed to do here, provide you with information. Yeah, they can get up and say, vote this, vote for this, don't vote for that. I mean, that's their right to do that. But I always find that public opinion, the best public opinion, or best public comment, I should say, are comments that provide a body with good information to evaluate. You don't have to take it hook, line, and sinker. Take a look at it. So the second thing is not only reaching the debt limit of 54 million, what about the bond rating? You know, right now, from what I can see, you are very close to getting, let me see what the rating is. You're getting, but right now I believe you're at lower medium grade, investment grade. Underneath that, and I just want to say this, and then I think I'm finished. Let me just find it. Go my phone. Okay, so below lower medium grade, investment grade, is non-investment grade speculative. How close are you to having a bond rating of non-investment grade speculative? And if you got to that level, that rating, how hard would it be for you to borrow more money? I mean, you know, roads are important, but there might be some things that you really have to spend the money on. So I've said over the last 6 months, you just got to get some of this debt. You have to have a plan. You have to get the debt maintenance cost down a couple $100,000 to prepare for the next big project. And there's a number of options you have in doing that. I mean, as I said, you're borrowing $750,000 this year from Green Acres. Do you have to borrow it this year? That's not a bad project, but do you have to borrow that money? Do you have to do that project this year? Can you put it off for a number of years so you can get that debt maintenance costs down? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Tompkins. I'm smiling.
I have a couple things to say, but the first thing, Miss Stinney taught me something a couple of months ago, and I've been trying to go along with what she taught me. And a couple of folks have made comments. Try to say something nice. And I'm really thankful that it's been raining a lot lately. It decreases the fire hazard, and the grass is turning really green, but I'm going to have to start cutting it soon. I got to thank you folks. I was really surprised by the vote. Very, very surprised. There's a couple things that are said sometimes in here, and you sit back here in the back and you kind of talk amongst each other. And it always seems like there's the same folks, 4, 5, 10, 15 people that are here. And I hear, well, if it was important, then more people would be in here. And if you ask my wife, she'll be the first one to tell you that I'm very hard-headed and stubborn sometimes. So, you know, there's a lot of times I come in here and I talk to you folks and I say something and you vote entirely opposite of what I say. And some folks might get frustrated and leave. But then I'm very stubborn, so I won't do that quite yet. But I've thought of it a couple of times, because sometimes you do come up here and you feel like you're wasting your time. And I'm sure that a lot of residents feel that way. They have families, they have other things that they have to do, and it's like, well, why should I go there if people aren't going to listen to what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying when you look out and you see only 4 or 5 people, and sometimes it's the same bright smiley faces looking back at you. But a lot of folks get frustrated, and I think that's why some folks don't come out here to see you all. And back on my soapbox, you know, a month ago I was in here complaining about speeders on my road. 6 months ago I was complaining about speeders in a residential area. And I think it was about a month ago Mr. Allen had asked for the chief of police to come in here to visit us and maybe have some comments. Last month the chief was busy, so he wasn't here. Tonight the chief was in here for the closed door meeting, but then left. So I think he left.
I was surprised. I thought he was...
So it's kind of a slap in my face as a resident when I'm told, well, we'll introduce or we'll request the chief to come, and he shows and he walks out the door and doesn't give us a chance to say anything. I was really unhappy about 2 days after the last council meeting when I was sitting in my front porch waiting for my daughter to go to therapy, and I saw a township police officer in his car sitting in front of the school, and I thought he was running radar until I picked up my radar gun and saw people doing 35, 40 miles an hour in a 25 zone, and kids are going to school. And the policeman was sitting there watching this happen and not doing anything about it. That tells me he's telegraphing to the public, we don't care. I don't think that's the right signal that we should be giving the public. And I have big issues with that. And that's all I have to say tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Quinn.
Thank you very much. It means a lot to me right now. I have another question unrelated to everything that's been discussed tonight. I live at the corner of Red Feather and Mohawk. Across Red Feather on the other side of the street, a neighbor of mine who's been there longer than me, and forgive me, I forget the last name, but it's a really big house. It's a nice house. He's had the house for 25 years, 5 years short of his 30-year mortgage to be paid off. He lost the house. We noticed the sheriff came, you know, served him with the papers. I have foreclosure papers. So the other day, last weekend as a matter of fact, they moved out, and lo and behold, this guy shows up in a car, not marked for any business or anything, and he starts hunting around the property. So in the intersection that I live in, we have a lot of little kids, so we all tend to pay attention to the intersection because there's a stop sign there. But we have a lot of little kids, especially with the summer playing. So long story short, we called the police because we didn't know who this guy was, what he was after, and the police were called. The police did take care of it, and I do appreciate that. Come to find out, he was from some kind of recovery company. I guess he was contracted by the bank who now owns the property. I don't know who the bank is. They put a white sign on the door. There's another property that's the corner of Red Feather and Manahawk, and it's a blue-sided property that was also foreclosed on quite some time ago. It's been empty. I know that the township passed an ordinance to deal with foreclosed properties and having to make the banks take care of the properties or keep... I'm sorry?
Register if it's vacant for a certain amount of time.
Oh, well, the blue house at Red Feather and Manahawk has been vacant for at least a year, maybe more. The other house that I'm talking about, they just moved out last weekend. You know, the house that's on Red Feather and Manahawk, and the grass has not been cut in God knows how long, and it's, you know, waist high. You know, we all live around there. We all maintain our properties because we care where we live, but we're concerned because here's another foreclosed property, you know, and they don't seem to be taking care of the properties. The other thing is when the kids figure out that the property is vacant, you know, there's been instances where they've tried to break into the properties, and my neighbors and I take a look, you know, we look out for each other. So I'm concerned that, you know, they're either not registering the properties, I don't know how long they have to register them, but the properties are not being taken care of, and the banks now own them because of the foreclosure. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, to the administration's attention. I don't know what, if anything, the township can do, but I think it's probably worth looking into.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Phillips?
America Phillips, 115 Tennessee Trail, Browns Mill, Presidential Lakes. My first question, what I have is for the administrator. In the last meeting when I brought it up to their attention, was for the second or third time possible, in reference to all the millets are on Connecticut Road, between Connecticut Road, Florida Trail, and Tennessee Trail. When those roads were built in MPL last year and the years before, all the piles are sitting there. And the reason I bring this attention back again today, because we got wells. All those chemicals are seeping our wells.
Mrs. Phillips, let me ask Mr. Gonzalez if he had checked into that as...
Yeah, I did check into that, and we're not aware of any millings that Mrs. Phillips is talking
didn't
about.
find the millings?
I'm told by Public Works that it's not there.
Excuse me?
What street are you saying, Miss Phillips?
Connecticut Road, Florida Trail, and Tennessee Trail. Call me a liar. Okay? I'd like to know what is there. The DEP will be calling in. That's where you guys say there is nothing in there. Well, I will take care of that then.
There are some mounds of dirt, and some of it looks a little dark
Chemicals.
in there.
All the road. When they tear up all those 3 roads, guess what? They went there.
If Mrs. Phillips had shared the photos and the specific locations, we would have had somebody look at it.
Okay. Well, I think she gave us the road.
She did.
I know that I talked to you in the last meeting, and I told you that I will give you a call Friday, that Friday. You told me that you will find it out. But I've been very busy. When I have problems with the township, I wait for the meetings, or I will come in here.
And we appreciate that, Miss Phillips, so that we know what's
That I will
going
have
on.
an answer in the next time, or I go along with the DEP, because that's my next road.
Well, can I share those pictures with...
That's all yours. I got it in my computer.
Okay, I'll give them to Mr. Gonzalez, and you're telling us which road they're on? Okay.
In their township property.
Right. On Tennessee Trail? between
Tennessee, Connecticut, and Florida.
The road that's closed off?
No, the roads, the part of the road, but that's coming up to Connecticut, the road.
Behind the firehouse?
Is correct. All
That's
the way
what I
down
thought
is
you said.
Connecticut Trail in there.
Okay.
Tennessee, Connecticut?
Tennessee,
to
Connecticut,
Connecticut.
and Florida.
And Florida. Are they down both sides of the roadway? On both roads? Florida and
No, but it's
Tennessee?
between. All those piles are on Connecticut Trail,
Okay, on Connecticut. Okay.
but it's between the Tennessee
Gotcha.
Trail
Gotcha.
and Florida.
Okay. What's the next issue?
Okay, my next issue, I know that I got 5 minutes.
No, we
Okay,
didn't
my
want
next,
issue.
question will be, I understand the engineer went and measured the drainage on Rhode Island. I hear tonight where they were saying where they were repairing and doing. Tennessee Trail is not on the list, and I was told by the engineer more than 4 months ago that they will be taking care of that. How come was not measured in Rhode Island has been measured? Rhode Island, Washington Boulevard there, in Connecticut,
What I do with it.
for drainage. The mine is not going to be in the list? Or what is going on?
Drainage on there, I thought I saw drainage for that area.
On the cafe.
The engineer went there only for Rhode Island, Washington, and Connecticut.
Well, it was there, I believe. Let's look and see.
There's a separate drainage only list. It's
Yeah.
not the road list. Rhode Island, work has been done by our engineer in anticipation that it's going to be repaved. The drainage was to be done in conjunction with the repaving.
Tennessee Trail was listed.
That was very strange because you people put a new road on Tennessee Trail, but didn't put the drainage. You will you guys fall asleep on it. But I want the drainage. Or you want a more lawsuit? I will come with my lawsuit when the storm coming.
What's the next issue?
Okay,
Ms.
my next
Phillips?
issue is, okay, so the millets they will look into, well, I'm going to be calling DEP. I will find that out the way.
Okay.
Okay, I want to just mention this to Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, it's going to be possibly more, closer probably 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, I brought to your attention between New Jersey Road, Pennsylvania Avenue in South Carolina, it's a disabled child who lives in one of those houses. The grandmother came to your office and mentioned to you, please put a speed bump in there for the speeder. That disabled child doesn't know what he's supposed to do a lot of time. He doesn't understand. But I talked to her a little while ago, and I went by because I walk every day. There is nothing done in there. Apparently, the administration lied to the lady. They said, as a taxpayer. Okay, my next one is in reference to the firehouse. With the recent presidential aid, when? Since September the 17th, if I'm not mistaken, we've been without fire services. But we've been paid fire services taxes. That means for you guys to go fix the building, guess what? You are overpaid. But you should be reimbursed to all the taxpayers for the money we've been paid to you. It's said. Okay, now, I got another one. When I do my walking, I talk to people. Okay? That's really the last one. My other one is by your property, where all those millets and everything is, that empty lot there. Those 3 houses erected across on Florida Trail are fighting with infestation or raccoons. They coming out from your property every night. If I be walking 6 o'clock to 6:30, they are crossing the road. They living in your property. Okay. In the ordinance, okay, reference to the police. Okay. With the police, we don't hear much about it. Why they are police chief, they don't give the permission to this man to be here and can't tell the rest what is going on in our community. I know myself, not because I have a son who's an officer. I don't even see my son. But I go by what the other in the paper are doing and whether they hear all the drugs are in this community. Keep us informed. The least we can do something about it.
Mrs. Phillips, I'm hoping that administration will ask the chief to come back and address some of these issues at the next meeting, the middle of July, since he left this evening.
I want to say thank you for who there is about more in this ordinance, because the way I look at it, we don't have revenue in this township right now. Hardly anything is coming to us. There is nothing in this town to get the people to eat brown or come and visit. It's nothing for them to just look for. We have to bring business in this community for the residents not to pay higher taxes. Many years ago, this was a vacation place. And instead of going forward, we went backwards. And that's exactly what it is. Only just keep borrowing. But guess what? I know if I borrow money, guess what? I can go and get all the credit cards I want and charge anything I want. They come and look for me. I want to thank to the police department because Saturday I called the police to come to my house. And for the reason called the police to come to my house, because the IRS, and this is one thing, the police department should be here and notify the resident what is going on in this community. They know there is other people in this community, all the fraud and all the scam things is going on right now. The IRS called. I talked to a lady today, the IRS called her house for her son, and they got him nearly $500. If we had a police in here all the time, guess what? We can pass information to them.
Hopefully they called the police. I know one of my friends in Presidential Lakes had that call and called the police, and they wanted them to come and fill out paperwork.
I called the police. So guess what? I may be an old lady, I may not well educated, but I don't make no business with nobody by the phone, not even the computer, and I'm sorry. So my computer for email and from the back in another country. Thank you, and I leave you, and I just hope, but I will go and call DEP, and guys said there is nothing in there. I'm going to go ahead and just make the call and leave them in that place, or just call the newspaper or the TV station, and we see about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Mr. Gonzalez, again, could we check with the police department to see if they've had a bunch of complaints about that issue, and if they have, maybe put it on our website? Thank you. Anyone else from the community? Yes, sir? Oh, I'm sorry, Claire. It's a new person. Someone who believes in heroes. Let's write your name. State your name, please.
Yes, how I get one off. And a battery.
Get it. That's not going to turn it on.
It didn't last long. It usually lasts longer than that.
Yeah, that wasn't long. It's on now.
We're live.
Ah.
Look at Amy.
They go off like that.
Yeah.
You're right on that, Aim. You're right on that.
Well, she's always looking to save money for the
Talking about
taxpayer.
having that battery ready.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, I had an extra one just in case.
Okay, sir, your turn. Name?
Joseph Elmendorf, Lakehurst Road.
No, it's still not on.
Yeah, I thought I heard it.
him.
No, it went
No?
off again.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, he's on there.
That's on.
Yep,
Can you
you're
hear me?
good.
All right.
The lights aren't working then.
All right, I'm here representing Ridge Auto Body and Repair. This has been an ongoing battle. So I've been doing a little investigative work for a long time and just documenting this ordinance. Okay? An ordinance in the township is put in to govern the association, whether it's towing, whatever entity it may be, okay? Within guidelines, set rules. I believe the original ordinance was put in effect to regulate towing charges, okay? Because it just got out of control. So I have documentation from the two towing companies that are currently on the ordinance charging too much, okay? They're charging us too much, they're charging the general people too much, they're charging insurance companies.
Have you gone to administration with this information?
I went not directly to administration, I went to another affiliated person with Pemberton Township, I'm not going to relay his name, gave him this information, and the gentleman had lunch with the mayor, okay, and brought it to his attention, okay? I'm not going to bring it in, try to backdoor or anything like this. This is some of the things that are going on. I'm not here to complain, but what's fair is fair. We got pushed away for too long. Ever since this ordinance went into effect, everything that the township wanted, one step at a time, we did, got pushed. You know, it's just been a long battle. And the gentleman that met with the mayor told us, well, just wait until 2016 when the new ordinance come out and put your package. That's it, point blank, you know what I mean? So I have documentation and pictures. I just had last week on 6/10, we had a customer car. We've been working on a car for over 30 years. She's been involved in a motor vehicle accident on 6/10. She went down to the township, right away.
Don't mention names.
Okay. One of the tow trucks picked it up, okay? She went right down there. She had the towing release in my hands at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. As per the ordinance, it says somebody has to be available up until 6 o'clock. I called at 4:15, spoke to the owner of the business. He told me, no one's there to release the car. I said, okay, what do you want me to do? Pick it up in the morning. All right, picked it up in the morning. Well, we picked it up in the morning, we're charged.
Storage charge.
Oh.
Okay, we're charged a 24-hour storage charge. But the business closed at 4 o'clock. So, I mean, we're a business, we're open till 5 o'clock. Right in the ordinance, it says somebody has to be there. If your business closes at 5 o'clock, that's fine. If somebody's gonna run there and meet, you know, a taxpayer to pick up their car or get personal belongings, whatever it may be, it's in the ordinance, not followed. Secondly, this car was a drivable vehicle. Had side, I have pictures, had side airbag going in it, okay? Customer told us, they pulled right up, drove the car on the truck, on the flatbed. So I have pictures to show you this.
The customer did it?
The customer.
I'm sorry.
The owner of the vehicle. When she dropped off, I asked her the facts about the accident, and she told me she got hit in the side, and she had, I said, well, what did the tow truck do? Well, the tow truck just backed right up and they drove the car up onto the flat.
Oh, my.
Okay. I got charged a wenching charge for $75.
You got charged, what is it you just said?
$75 wenching charge.
Wrenching, you said?
Wench.
Oh.
That's the
In the
tow.
ordinance, it says if you back your tow truck up to a proximity within maybe 10 feet of the car, closer, the wenching charge is supposed to be charged.
Oh.
Okay? A cleanup fee is included in your daily rate tow. I'll show you the pictures. No cleanup was needed on this car. So, let me get this. There's a picture of the vehicle. All right, wenching charge, cleanup, and the car was there. She went right, I told her to go there right away, pick up the police release, get the car back to the shop. Gentleman that I spoke to who owns the shop is in New York, so we can't do anything about it. But his business was open, but he wasn't available. So, I could go, I could cut the airbags out of the side of that car right now, drive it right here. Car door opens up, and get in and out. All right? Many moons ago, one of our tow trucks were impounded, okay? Because we had an outdated New Jersey tow truck sticker on it, okay? Another towing entity from the township towed it, paid them, we got it back, all right? Sticker was in the glove box, never got put on the truck. Here is another company, and on the back it'll tell you when they drop the vehicle off to our shop, customer request on a police tag. It was towed on 12/19. The inspection sticker on the truck was dated, what's it say, Mrs. Strublatt? March of 14? Outdated. Truck shouldn't be on the road. Huh?
March, yeah.
March of 15. Truck was still running. But 8 months later, 8 months. Okay? So this is an ordinance that the township makes. It's not governed, not at all. Okay? I'll show you. Here's a tow bill. This is a tow bill that I was charged for that one I just showed you. And here's the full copy of the insurance.
Joe.
Now, I have more. This is just 1 or 2 entities that I have. Okay? Now, I towed another vehicle back on, what was this date?
Andy.
Police release. Police car, 324, this is who it is. They took down a mailbox over in Country Lakes. Okay? Another tower towed it in. Got there right away, got the police right away, got the police release right away. Got there about 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish maybe. All right, it was towed in the morning. All right. This car also. I paid the charges. We were charged a winching fee, $75. A road cleanup at $25. Okay? And a lot charge for $25. Okay? No lot charge is supposed to be charged at all. Here's a copy of that.
Hold on a minute, Joe. Andy, where do we go with this stuff? To administration?
Yeah. I mean, I think...
If I may,
Please.
It's the chief of police's responsibility for investigate these issues with
So,
respect to towing. So if Mr. Elmendorf can give me his phone number, I'll be very happy to communicate with the chief first thing in the morning and ask him to call Mr. Elmendorf to investigate these issues. In the very recent past, the chief has investigated a particular issue, not these, and I do have something from the chief as a recommended action for that. So it's something that will be addressed. We really need to know. But the process is for it to come to me or the chief investigates, then makes a recommendation to me. I actually will be the hearing officer in any situation like that.
Thank you. Joe, can you make sure you get that information to
I'll get
the
it.
chief,
I mean,
please?
but there's an ordinance, okay?
Well, it's here, you
That's
put
why
it
it gets
on record
enforced.
now, but it
You're
has to be
asking, you're
enforced.
suggesting the ordinance be enforced, and...
Well, it's supposed to be enforced, okay? This has been ongoing. When I originally submitted my package, I didn't have contact with Dennis. I had contact with Police Chief James, okay? I had an email from Dennis saying, you don't deal with Jankus. You deal with me. Now he's putting it on Jankus?
I know.
Okay.
Different process.
That's okay, it's a different process, Joe.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Joe, can I just say one little thing, please? Okay. Andy, let me see if I can get this right.
Sure, Diane.
Okay. Now, we question the compliance in the ordinance when it was made for a recommendation for Elmendorf to come, yes, sir, to come on. Now, I really would like for you to look back into that ordinance since you looked into it with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah. There was a time period, as I recollect.
Right.
There was-
Yeah, but if you're not in doing the right thing,
Well, that's a different question.
yeah.
The question, I think, that was presented at the time was, could we bring another tower on
Right.
when we were between sort of RFP periods or proposal periods?
But he had
Diane,
information. I'm sorry.
That's
sorry.
Well, I think the question is another tower in compliance with the ordinance and what should happen as a result of that?
Yes.
That's the question.
That's
As
now,
opposed
that's
to,
then.
were we eligible to open up or have another
Right.
tower come online before the initial period that was set forth in the ordinance had lapsed? That was the difference, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Yeah.
I understand. Right. But
This isn't one or the other. It's both of them doing the same thing, okay? Both are charging too much, okay? The township made it clear that you have to have a separate storage lot for Pemberton Township police vehicles, okay? That car that I gave you a thing, parked out behind a house, behind a pool in a yard. There's his storage yard, and there's the vehicle.
stop throwing them pictures.
It's over.
You know,
Let me see, Jeff.
maybe one of the requirements in the ordinance should be that the
If they don't
fees are
comply, that it's...
posted and given to every customer or something.
It is.
We
Probably
had a
is.
customer's car that got totaled over at that shop right there, okay? Here's her tow bill. The gentleman refused to give her a copy of the tow bill. Said he did not have to give her a copy of the tow bill because the insurance company's paying for it. The appraiser had to give her a copy of the tow bill. Okay, she went there with the police release. The car was parked in the same proximity of there. I asked her, she took pictures, I asked her for that. She did not want to get involved because she didn't want the township or the police coming after her, blah, 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 blah. But she gave me a copy of the tow bill. Tow bill has storage charges, lot charges, road cleanup charges, labor to clean out the car, charging the owner of the car
To clean out her
a fee
own
for
car.
her to clean out her own car.
Oh, Lord.
There's nothing in the ordinance if
Nothing
they
in
don't
the
follow,
ordinance says that.
Dennis?
Of course there
There
is.
is.
So what
And the
happened?
process in the ordinance is for the information to be provided either to me and I provide it to the police, because the police are required to investigate the issues with respect to the towing contract. The
Okay.
police chief investigates or has it investigated. The police chief, if he determines that there is a violation of the ordinance, will then write me a memorandum advising and making a recommendation as to what action we should take with respect to the contract, and then I inform the towing company that there is going to be an opportunity for the towing company to come before me and to demonstrate that whether they did or did not violate the terms of the contract and the ordinance. If there is, then I can issue a penalty, which could be a revocation of the contract or it could be a suspension of the contract.
We
Okay,
also
thank you.
charged on here, pool rear fender from tire, $50. This was an insurance total loss. So, I would have never seen this bill if it wasn't a customer of ours, okay? How many insurance companies did they do this to? Okay? So, you know, I didn't come here to make it right, you know, everybody's in business, you know, you're in business to make money, I understand that, okay? But when you don't have enough property to store your vehicles, put them behind houses and pools, and make a joke to you, don't hit my pool when you pick up the car. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I shouldn't even hear that, you know? It should have been in the yard, backed up to it, whoever made in the yard, and got it out of there. All we wanted was to be put on the towing list, that's it.
Joe, and unfortunately, the ordinance did not allow for that, or we would have been happy to have added you to the towing list, I think, as we explained that evening. However, now, we really need you to have a conversation with Chief Jantis.
Joe?
Or one of his lieutenants, I'm sure, will be more than happy to, probably the detective lieutenant. Welch's, did we just hear Welch's?
Thank you, Mr. Elmendorf, for coming
Thank
with
you, Joe.
just about the same information you did before.
Anybody else from the public? Yes, Miss Wadsworth. Sorry about that.
Claire Wadsworth, Graham's Mills. Just a quick thank you to Ms.
Oh.
I'm falling off my chair.
Yes, 3 times in a row, isn't it?
Anyone else from the public? Okay, now I think it's been a while since I did this. Are we on council?
Council.
Council members' comments. Who wants to start?
I just want to say thank you for coming out and, we're knowing more information, but if someone mentioned in one of the residents about
not knowing about hearing rumors of the college, but we don't know yet. But it has been changed. The logos will be changed to Rowan College of Burlington County. So there will be more later coming.
Including BCC, the community college is...
No longer BCC.
What's it going to be called?
It's
Rowan
called
College.
College of Burlington County. Same thing. Gloucester, it went the same, and now we're the same. So,
Very
so
interesting.
if you look at the website, it has been changed already, and you call, it does say Rowan College now. So some say it's for the best for our students, we don't know, but it's a partnership. Rowan College.
Okay,
So thank you.
thank you. I'll go next. Mr. Bear,
Yes, Council.
sorry if I said your name wrong, but my God, I was just trying to get the attention.
Right.
It's
No, I wasn't
been-
sure if you were saying Mr. Bayer or Mr. Mayor. You didn't say the name wrong.
I
I just wasn't clear what
It
you
was
said.
just such a, I just, you know, was just terrible. That's all I can say. On a positive note, we'll start off on. Oh wait, he's talking. On the positive note, several residents and Councilwoman Trueblood had also indicated many residents had spoken with her on the grass that was at 49 West Lake Road,
West Lake Shore.
and Evergreen Boulevard. And I've had at least 4 residents say that, you know, they want to thank the township for making it a safe haven, but perhaps they may be or were a week or something short from a car accident or something, but thank God nobody got hurt, and it was taken care of. Now, we all received an email, and again, you've heard me say many a times, residents do care. I care for my residents. Excuse me. All throughout this township. Doesn't matter how they may feel about me, but it's okay. There was a young lady that sent Amy I don't know if she's a young lady or older lady or what, but she sent us all this information on cats, stray cats or whatever these cats were, in Presidential Lakes. And I did speak with Councilwoman Sherry Skull because I believe back, where did Mr. Prickett go? Okay, he left. I believe back in the day we had spoke about cats and people came forward and that sort of thing. So I did call the lady, and she seems scared. She says she feels threatened by the residents in the back of her if she makes this complaint. And I told her to go see administration here or go to the police department. That's all I could give her. That's the only information I could give her. Or maybe we can look and see if there was something about cats. And lo and behold, speaking of the cats, residents on 216 Garden, a house that had been had several complaints about, and I believe they said that the house was owned by the bank. I think it took about 4 public works trucks to come and clean up the mess. And we billed for it. I don't want anybody to get upset. Township billed for it on this house. And now the residents are saying there's a bottom window that's open, and cats are just coming in, sitting out on the yard, and just having themselves, I don't know what cats do because I don't have one. But anyway, that's the problem there. So I want to know what the council did. You know, maybe, you know, call the residents or just a suggestion or what we should do. We just can't let something like this go by. The lady says she feels threatened if she complains or goes any further. I don't know. I spoke with Amy about it. We all got the same email. So, council? Did y'all talk to the lady?
I know in front, like even where I'm at on Clubhouse, I've seen a lot of stray cats lately, and they go by, and I know some in Country Lakes, people feed them, and they put food out, and that's what happens. These kittens are born, and I mean so it's a growing problem if there's people feeding the strays.
Yeah, that's what she said.
And that's it.
And they're being born, or they...
Yeah, they're
and they come multiplied. I don't know how many they have at one time, but that's what she's saying.
Control,
I would think animal control should be involved.
Well, she said she did mention to animal control. Animal control came out and gave her a cage and told her to collect the cats. I'm not kidding. This is...
I'm sorry, that just didn't make sense.
I know it didn't make sense to me. I asked her, animal control or what's the other department we have here? Was it?
No, it would just be animal control will come out and give residents that have issues with feral cats that are coming onto their property, when the cages are available, they will give them humane cages to trap the cats, and animal control will pick them up
and we'll come back and get the cats.
Bring them to the shelter.
That's
Yes.
what she said. And she
However,
said
there's only so many cages to go around.
Yeah, and she did say animal control people, I guess, are not there or whatever. It's not my job to find out, where they are or whatever, but she did mention that. So my question again to council, do we want to try to, look up this? Especially with these empty houses, because...
Go right ahead, Amy.
Okay.
If council would like, I will gather up the information from when I attempted to institute cat licensing. I believe it was in 2008.
Okay,
Don't quote me on that date.
Okay.
Most of the people, there was mixed results on it. Some people thought we were asking them to give up their firstborn just by asking them to register their cats, but the figures are there. Pemberton Township gives the largest number of cats to the county shelter than any other town in the county.
Wow.
But I will dig up that information and forward it to you. I had already sent some of it to Jason because he had asked for it, and I'll try and get the information on the type of program you were talking about. Would
the
be
feral cat thing.
A trap, spay, and release type of program and something like that. So I can gather it up and send it all to you for you to review, and you can
It
take
definitely
it from there.
occurred since 2007, Amy, because I remember council discussing it.
Well, we had a
I wanted it
4-hour,
2008.
1 o'clock in the morning meeting listening about feral cats. I will never forget that.
Yeah, I had committee meetings, which Mrs. Norma was on. Norma Waters was on my committee. But
okay.
When you were talking about licensing
no offense to cat owners, but they're pretty...
Well, if I have to license my dog, they should have to license their cat.
Well, she did. She said that, the cats come out and they, are not clean.
Fund the road department with cat licenses, Jack.
And she lets her dog comes out, and then, they attack them, and the dog's all in the feces or whatever you call like the cats have or whatever. I'm not sure, like I said, I don't have them. But I think that these open houses should be, I know our code enforcement officers, we just hired that one full-time this year in our budget.
We just have one full-time.
Animal
control.
No, just one, yeah, But we have 3 code enforcement officers. So thank you very much, Amy. I appreciate that. I appreciate you forwarding that over. I appreciate it. So let me go on. I finished with the cats there at that resident at 216 Garden Avenue, and I have several complaints from several residents over there. I believe one time there was a fire where kids were in and out of the house, and I can't prove it. I didn't go look at the report, but I believe that the police and the fire trucks were over there at that resident there. The resident on the right side of the house complained while they were trying to get their mail from their box. They were scratched terribly on the face with branches that had gotten so high they could hardly retrieve their mail and newspapers. Now, again,
I remember this house here, they said it was such a mess, and raccoons and all of that sort of stuff was all in the back, and I believe, I went by to see it myself. There are branches that are ready to fall on anybody's house there is there, and I guess that's throughout the township, but it is a hazard, and it is safety, and I remember, I'm not going there, but anyway. I'm going to give you this residence